This show is hilarious. This show is hilarious. It is the funniest show on television right now. I don't want to hear about it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode, spoiler-heavy episode of Peacemaker, episode 5. If you haven't seen it already, then what the hell are you doing here? And before you even do that, by the way, show a little bit of class, will you? And subscribe. Hit the notification. Don't just search for Peacemaker reviews. Hang over here and then, just watch it, move on. Help people out, will you? Show just an ounce of class and subscribe and hit that notification button. That's all I'm asking for. And then you can do the Spotify or the Apple Podcasts, whatever, for the podcast. That's what you do. All right, let's get into this thing. It's hilarious. It is just an absolutely incredibly ridiculous show. I love this show so much. I love it every episode, and I gotta go and I gotta start with John Cena, because John Cena for me was very hit or miss before the Suicide Squad. Certain movies he was in, I'd be like, I always found him. Sometimes, I thought he was funny in Blockers, and I thought he was funny in Trainwreck for the time that he's in it, but never really shined. He shines in this show. He hits the drama, he hits the comedy, everything about it. He just knows the ins and outs of this character so well, and that is obviously from working with James Gunn and understand James Gunn's writing. James Gunn knows how to utilize Cena's strengths, and Cena is just really playing into this very well. And the opening scene of this episode, when they're all sitting around the meeting room and they have the whole conversation, and it's as they're going over the plan with the butterflies, as Myrn is going through and telling everybody about, well, this is what we need to do and blah, 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 blah. And then it does what in the first episode, when the conversation, when there was an overall objective of where they were going, and then the ADD conversation comes in of something else is thrown out, and the character spends whatever character it is, will spend 2 or 3 minutes just keep hammering into this one point, and it keeps happening. When it happened in the first episode, I'm like, okay, they're going to keep doing this. And now I find myself waiting for it to happen, rooting for it to happen. And it happens in this episode right away when they're going over the plan. And then as Peacemaker is just goading Diebeard. He's just getting Economos, and he's just goading him. And finally, he's like, dude, I didn't mean to frame your dad. He's like, why did you, dick? And they start going after it. He's like, you could have literally taken anybody, Brad Pitt, Robin Quivers, Howard Stern. He's going all these names, and it just goes on and on, but it's so funny. And then you want to play somebody who's just killing it every week, and it's Freddie Stroma as Vigilante. We got lucky. Nothing against the actor who had it beforehand. I don't know what the creative differences were or why they left or whatever. Freddie Stroma comes in and has just nailed this role. And there's this little moment that he has. Watch it back. Watch it back if you didn't notice it already. When Peacemaker holds up the thing and says something like, eat a dick, Diebeard. And Vigilante looks at it and sees it, thinks it's the funniest thing in the world. And the way that they cut it, it's just this whole play, and then it leads into the intro, which everybody is watching. The intro went viral, as it should. I can't stop watching it. It's a hilarious episode, introduction. But what's so great about this scene, even though you think that maybe it's just a throwaway to get jokes in there, it's not, because Economos and Peacemaker have been having this beef since the beginning of the season, and we finally start to see them. They start to bond. And the reason why is because you get this whole thing with the Hanoi Rocks that happens. But even the lead up to that, and as they're going through it, because Leota, Waller's daughter, tells Peacemaker, dude, you got to let off on him, man. You're really breaking his balls about this whole thing with the beard. He's told you a million times he doesn't like it. Cut it out. And they have this bully conversation, which is another one of those things that keeps leading up to these jokes. That just keeps hammering you with the jokes about about what they used to name the dicks that they used to see in the locker room. And it's just, but it all plays into the fact that just let's work together. And they get there they get to this mission, and even Harcourt comes around in this one, and yeah, and it doesn't seem like it's going to go that way, because. And the way it's so clever in the way that everything kind of plays out. The jokes that are set up in the beginning ultimately lead to where we get to at the end. Because even when we get to the whole chainsaw thing, how Vigilante he wants to take the chainsaw. And by the time we get to the gorilla and that whole gorilla scene, Someone pointed that out in the where the hell was it? In the comments, I think last week. They said, that gorilla scene is coming back. The gorilla's coming back. They're not just going to throw that in there. I was like, 100% that gorilla's coming back, and it comes back. My question is this: when it comes to the butterflies, and maybe you guys can answer this because I don't know. I think that Myrn says it in the beginning how they overtake the human body, and the question, and give them like the super strength and that hilarious moment that with the chimpanzee that they show in the PowerPoint stuff, which I was dying over. But the question is, when they take over the human body, if they leave the human body, does that human come back and is normal again? Or is it just completely, that's it? Once they take over your body, you're done. It's invasion of the body snatchers. It's over. We might as well kill you. Because if they can get the butterfly out without killing them, there's the maybe no need for all the just brutal murder that happens throughout this entire series. But that's also consistent in what Peacemaker has done. And I see we finally get to see that Peacemaker that we saw in the Suicide Squad. That scene when in the Suicide Squad when Peacemaker and we had an Idris Elba were walking through the village and they're blowing people away. That comes into play, and it comes into play obviously with the X-ray vision, and then how that all plays in with Leota and how she says, "Dude, what are you doing? Why are you just blowing people away?" He's like, "I can see them. They got butterflies in their head," and they work together really well. Their relationship has been. He even says, "I never had anyone like you to help me out." And then she winds up, I think, framing him with that diary or whatever's happening. And then don't even forget the side story where they're now trying to get because Detective Song now is trying to get, or Agent Song rather, is trying to figure out what's going on with Robert Patrick. Why he's like, "I didn't do this. Check it out." They discover it's true. The witnesses cop it up real fast. But then we have that whole scene with Myrn when he brings in this assassin or whoever the guy was who's playing the chief now, and there's just all these kind of side things happening. But the biggest thing is at the very end, obviously, where Myrn is discovered by Leota that he is a butterfly, and so the question now is, what was she trying? Remember, because Judo Master at one point goes, "It's not what you think here," and then she wound up shooting him. So what the hell is going on? And are we going to get one of these reveals where they wound up killing all these people in the factory, and they killed the gorilla, and they killed all these things? Do we know that the aliens are definitely bad? They're scary, they're creepy, but do we know that they're bad? I mean, it seemed like it's a setup that they weren't, but the biggest part of this whole series, that's a big moment, obviously, that happens at the very end. But it's not what this episode is about. It's about the team being able to form and being this ragtag group, the only group that Waller has sent them out. Nobody else knows that they're fighting these things, and they have this bonding moment. I mean, Harcourt is including them in this group text. They're all laughing about it. I love the thing when Vigilante is working his restaurant job, and he looks down, he's laughing at the silly unicorn, a mermaid emoji that makes no sense, and there's the humor in this is right up my alley. I don't know if it's up there for you guys. I don't know if it is your type of humor. If you're up in episode 5, I'm sure that it is at this point, but this just plays to everything that I think this is one of the funniest shows on television. I think that it's brutal. You can see the James Gunn, the gore that he's been accustomed to use in his rated R movies. The director, I don't know what her name was. He's writing all these, but he did not direct this one. I saw that, and shoot, what was the director's name? I thought she did a great job. And you guys can tell me in the comments, but I thought she did a phenomenal. This. And I don't know if it's also because the other ones were so good leading up to it. This one was my favorite one so far. And I think it's just because the story is progressing and we're getting more. And although the prison scene in episode 4 was pretty phenomenal, there's just the humor in this one. This is the best. I should say this is the best the comedy's been so far. This is the best the comedy's been. And even the scene when they go into the factory and they're blowing people away, and the fact once again that Economist has to come in and help them. And even when Peacemaker looks at him and goes, "You're a stud," and he's like, "I am a stud. That's great." And it's just so over the top and bloody. They killed that gorilla. Like, could they have saved the gorilla? Are we going to find that out later? I don't know. And what's going to happen next with Murn? And Murn seems to be trying to take the butterflies out, but what's the secret agenda with this butterfly? So many questions. And I this is it's just phenomenal. I really love this episode. Could rave about it. I can go on for about 20 minutes, but that's it. That's the episode. I hope that you guys liked it. Did you enjoy it? What'd you think? Go ahead and comment. Tell me what you think. I answer as many comments as I can as they come in. I answer all of them, so please do that. Please, let's have a conversation here. I'm going to put these out. I put the last one out on like Thursday when it came out. I was like, yeah, people didn't get a chance to watch it. So I'm going to put these out on like either Friday or Saturday, the spoiler-heavy reviews. And then, yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoying the show the way I am. I appreciate it. Don't forget, once again, hit that subscribe button, show a little class, and hit the notification button too. That's about it, everyone. It's Peacemaker. Peace.